Okay, today I want to do a review of the Cerwin Vega AT-10. Um, I'm a big fan of the AT series. I find them pretty comparable to the D series. Some people seem to prefer the D series for various reasons. I've heard some people say they sound better. I can't really tell a difference, although I've never owned a D3, which is their 10-inch in the digital series. The I would say an AT-12 and a D7, because they have the D5 and the D7. I would say it's comparable to the D7, and then the AT-15 and the D9, both excellent cabinets. I would recommend them to anybody. I can't imagine you getting a pair of those and not enjoying them in your system. Depending on what you're going for. If you listen to a lot of maybe acoustical type music, I think you'd be much happier with like a Klipsch or something like that. But if you're into rock, or especially anything that's bass heavy, if you're into like, especially a lot of the new school, rap or whatever, I think that the Cerwin Vega would be something you should look at over maybe a Klipsch. Not that these things slam, but you can save a lot of money. Although the Cerwin Vegas have gone up considerably in price in the last like year and a half for some reason, but they just perform so much better at the low end. And and that's just because and the Eclipse is a very efficient speaker and puts out a lot of sound, but it puts it out throughout the range. Where these, just the low end is, I don't know. I mean, if you're really into the lower frequencies, Cerwin Vega is your ticket, in my opinion. I guess I really haven't run into a series of speaker that, or a company that does speakers that are better in the low end than Cerwin Vega. It seemed to be that kind of their forte, what they excelled at. Um, the This one is kind of one of the smaller ones. They had an 8, a 10, the AT8, the AT10, the AT12, and the AT-15. And in Europe, I think like they had different designations. I think it was like it was like 100 or something for the AT-15. But um, the tweeter was different in the 12 and the 15. They went to a soft dome, more substantial. But this one keeps up fine with what this is. With this, I believe this is a 4-inch, or maybe 4.5 mid range, where the D series used I believe a larger mid range, but and then the 10-inch, this tweeter does fine with that. It's not the smoothest sounding tweeter, but that's really not what you're going for if you're going with Cerwin Vega. Cerwin Vega is, for rock or rap or any hip hop. This is your speaker, because they just sound excellent with that type of thing. They do have a adjustable level control in the tweeter in the mid range. The D series, I have some D5s, and I'll do a review of those next. This one I'm going to do just kind of a run through of my basic thoughts on it and its features, and then I'll do another video just playing some different music on it. These drivers for the time, I mean, these have quite a bit of throw. Very efficient. The one thing is they do use this foam surround, and it, as you can see, it has very high compliance, which makes it a very efficient driver. A light cone, these ribs add the rigidity to that cone. This one's been refoamed, obviously, and this dust cap isn't original either, because you can see the logo is actually raised on it. So this is not this when they when they refoamed it. I was kind of actually glad to see that, because I know they took the dust cap off, shimmed it when they did the foam replacement on this. Another thing too is on these ATs, versus a few other series in Cerwin Vega, and then some other ones use this as well. This has a plastic gasket, so when you pull that off, you can reuse it. The other ones, you don't have to worry about the different plies, because when you get, I think those used it was like a paper with like a black like vinyl on the top, If if those come apart, you're gonna you're gonna have to replace it. Whereas these, I mean, nothing's gonna happen to this. It's only bolted in 4 places. I'm not sure. I have to take a look. I've owned the AT-12 and the AT-15, but I'm not. I would think that they had more than that in there, but it's not like it rattles around in there. They have a nice heavy cast aluminum, and that's very common on Cerwin Vegas. Aluminum voice coil for heat dissipation, and everything in the moving parts, all the soft parts in the voice coil, it's all light, very light, which makes it a very efficient driver. So you can get a lot of output, and then larger cabinets for because I mean this is an AT-10, so this is kind of the baby, and it's a fairly substantial cubic foot. I don't know. I want to say it's probably 2 cubic feet at least in there, somewhere around there, and it's ported. If I can show that. I don't know if there's enough light. Yeah. See, there's like a 2-inch port, push terminal. The I think the AT-12, and I know for sure the AT-15 is fused. But this one, I mean, you're not going to be putting that kind of power to it. I'm guessing it was their assumption on this, so they didn't include that feature on these. I bought these. I had sold some. I got these probably about 10 years ago, and I used them quite a bit. I want to say I used them even after I got the Klipsches, which was about 4 years ago. So I used them for 6-7 years, and then I moved them to the rear, so they weren't really seeing a lot of work anyway. But excellent detail, but not, well, I wouldn't say excellent. I would say good detail when you're not using them at high volume, because these do break up. Whereas like the Klipsch or an AT-12, I think a lot has to do with the tweeter. It can't handle nearly the power that the dome tweeter they used in the 12 and the 15 was. But if you're just using them for regular use, it's fine. But it starts to break up when you start pounding on them hard. So you lose detail on the high end. They're not. Cerwin Vega is not going to be a speaker that you're gonna listen to classical on and jazz. I mean, I do, and I enjoy listening to them. I don't think it's harsh. It's just not quite the fidelity you're gonna get with something. I just found Klipsch to be something that I enjoy more for something like that. But for rock, for hip hop, rap, excellent choice. And you can save a lot versus the same size, a comparable speaker in a Klipsch line, or especially like a B&W or something like that. Are you going to get better fidelity? Obviously, but when you listen to rock and stuff, I don't think you're gaining nearly as much, and you're losing bottom end to these. Is the low end a little more tight? In the Klipsch line, yes, and B&W definitely, but it just does not have nearly the output. These things will put out a lot of sound, and when I get into the D5, I'll get to that. It actually has a D. They've been swapped out the 12s with D7. The 12 that they used in those is, I believe, the 2-inch voice coil versus a 1.5 in the original D5 drivers. But those things, I mean, that's a 12, much smaller cabinet, ported, and that's front ported. These are rear ported, as well as the 12 and the AT-15 are. But this Klipsch, I mean, the bass is very tight, sounds excellent, very accurate cabinets, but can't nearly keep up with even those D5s. Those D5s just, they will shake the house. And these ones too, they put out a lot of sound. I mean, these can get very loud. I think you'd be very happy if you did a little setup with a fairly decent power receiver. If you were like, I don't know, I like old Marantz receivers with Cerwin Vega and old Sansui. To me, you pair those, so you get a receiver. So now you don't have to do the separates and get into that cost, and hook them up to a pair of AT-10s or AT-12s. you have to get, I don't know, to really do an AT-15 justice. I think you have to get a really, upper end. I would say you want to put at minimum 80 watts to those. I mean, but they, they'll put out a lot of sound lower wattage, but just for control and everything, I just feel like a separate amplifier controls those better in my experience. But yeah, excellent speakers. I really like them. I'm not looking to get rid of them. You used to be able to pick up a pair for $100, no problem. A really good example. Now, I mean, they vary. Some people are asking like $300. You used to be able to get AT-15s just a couple years ago for $300. So, prices have really fluctuated. And right now they seem to be at a high point. So I don't know if they're going to continue to go up. I don't see these losing value because there's only a finite supply. But these foam surrounds rot out, and then you can snatch up deals because you're going to go spend $20 for a pair, go get new surrounds, and if you're they're not that difficult to replace. You replace the surrounds, and you got essentially a brand new set because the mid ranges and tweeters generally don't. I haven't seen too many of those fail. Sometimes you'll see these will be out, but I haven't had an issue with these. But I have had have had one of these go out one time, but you can find those readily on eBay. But yeah, I mean, that's when you can snatch up deals on Vegas. The foam goes bad and somebody goes, oh, the woofer's blown. And you're like, all right, I'll take it off your hands, and then spend $20, refoam them, and you got an excellent sounding speaker. And then just, with Cerwin Vega bass is kind of the name of the game. That's it.